Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Modern Engineers, and welcome aboard the Alamo. This is going to be our first community project. Down below, there's a link to my Discord, and basically the community projects. Now, I'm going to get started here. We've got a lot of work to do. The first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to start marking areas that I'm going to remove, but I'm not going to remove them. They're just for future planning for dry dock work. So anyway, Project Alamo is our next community or first community project. This is kind of experimental. I don't know how it's going to go, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But the idea is that community members, such as yourselves, can submit a contract for me to complete in game for rewards. Stuff that I normally can't get, like with stutter. Yeah. Downside to moving to a server now is a little bit pain in the butt. But basically, this is the whole point of this is that we're going to the customer has stated in their contract that they would like this mothballed battleship to be reactivated and modernized. I say that with air quotes. Modernized to the 80s version of what a Montana-class battleship possibly could have looked at. And yes, she's a large Montana-style battleship. Okay, that's going to have to change. Right now, what I'm doing is the first, part of the contract is I'm doing an inspection. And I'm just kind of rolling around the ship, seeing what needs to be changed so that I kind of get an idea of the scope of work. Now, underneath this deck, she is completely hollow. I mean, aside from some engines and basic power stuff, she's a competition ship, so she's not really designed to be functional. She's just designed to fight. That's a weird clipping issue. Let's see if we can put that there. So basically, it's my job to get her from this mothballed state back into serviceable state. And I'm going to be still doing this in survival. I'm still going to be using my resources and my knowledge to get the ship the way it gets. Oh, there's no ladder up there. That's going to have to change. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of work to this ship. And right now, this is just the easy part. This is going through the ship and seeing what I can immediately see that needs to be changed. I'm not going to really go inside. It's pretty... aside from the superstructure, it's really hollow. Right now I got her in a stable floating state, so I'm going to try not to affect that. We're going to remove the deck area for the boat deck. Yep. We'll have to remove some of these weapons because we're going to put in a Tomahawk box launcher situation up there. And then one of these 5 inches is going to have to go. Somewhere over here is going to have to be shore power, so we'll probably put it right here-ish. We'll probably extend this area out. But we need shore power because once we're out of the water, we won't have any power, and then we're going to have to figure out something for the unrep station. I think here's a good spot. Just kind of marking out. The cool part is, right now it's just paint. It's not going to be any permanent situations. It's not going to be permanent changes as far as I know yet. This area, I haven't decided yet, that I'm marking behind these turrets are going to be the ammo hoist elevators and the hoist elevators and the access to the magazines. We're going to do another refueling station on this side. Another shore power connection. Still not so sure about some areas. There were requirements in this build. I am not allowed to modify or change the 18-inch guns at all. Yes, they're 18-inch. They're not the 16-inch guns that would have been on the Montana. But you know what? History is history. This is a player-built ship, so it's going to be modified in certain ways. So these are 18-inch guns that we're going to have to not modify. This area is probably going to have to get extensively modified because one of the biggest issues this ship has is ventilation. there's no airflow in this ship, and it struggles. You open a single door in the ship, and she almost sinks. So we're going to have to definitely fix that. I'm going to have to add accesses to the lower decks. I'm going to have to entirely build the interior of the ship. So basically, we're doing a fitting out. And that's what's going to be the expensive part of the ship. And right now, the only source of power on the ship is this generator pack on the back of the boat that we installed. And we installed that for the tow, and it's just pulling water off the side of the boat, burning it into hydrogen, and then immediately just providing 5 megawatts. There's no engines, there's no power. Like these markings. I wonder how you would remove them. This is where it should go. I can't remove those. Guess I'll have to ask the creator. This area would be where the stern light would be mounted, so we'll have to definitely go through that. So I'm just going to mark it for now, for future work. One of the big tasks that'll have to be done before the ship gets into dry dock is we're going to have to remove a lot of top weight so that she's not she's as light as possible, so that we're not worried about the dry dock struggling to lift her out of the water. We're going to remove any unnecessary hardware that is not needed for the dry docking, so like just to kind of get the weight off the ship. So it'll be like some of these 5-inch guns. These don't look conveyored. Yeah, that one will go. We're gonna try and extend the superstructure a little bit. Now the interior of the superstructure is nice, but a lot of this is going to change. And no hydrogen hookups. Oh, these are new. I like that sink. Anyway, moving on. A lot of this. Oh, there's the gap. I'll have to fix that before we get into dry dock. I'll just patch it. The inside is nice. It looks clean. It looks functional, more or less. But we're gonna ultimately just be gutting and redoing the interior of the ship. Oh, what's that? Broadcast control. Oh, I didn't know that that's what the big ones look like. That's kind of cool. I'm used to using the little ones. Been up here before. I don't know why he decided that these windows would be just available. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna go through the ship and at a later date, but right now I'm gonna mark what needs to be removed. These guns are definitely not conveyored. I mean, look at... Okay, we're definitely gonna have to probably remove almost all of the 5-inch mounts and reset them, because they're not, they don't have any access to magazines for pulling ammunition. Definitely removing the harpoons. This deck is hard to walk on. And then we're going to remove these. So, I do know what happened is... Hydrogen, please? No. Damn. I do know what happened. Or at least I have an idea of what happened. Is that the player who built this ship went off of the World War II sketch. I think it was sketch 3 or 7. One of the two. We're going to remove these CWIS platforms because they'll be moved. And that one was designed for World War II, not a modern era. And they kept a lot of, like, this area. This area would have been an AA deck up here. They kept a lot of the superstructure the same, whereas instead of modifying it and making it their own. I'm going to reference the Wisconsin and other battleships as my reference source for how the superstructure is going to look, how the interior, a lot of that is going to work. I do have a reference document. Yeah, that's patched. Nothing back here, it seems. I do have a reference document of some plans for the Montana, but as a naval engineer, I'm looking at this. It's rough. The interior is rough. I don't understand how they could get away with that at all. Like, it's just... Oh, this is a spotting tower. That's nice. I like that. We're gonna move that one next. Yeah, I don't understand how they could get away with being structurally sound and having everything separated like that. It just doesn't feel right. I'll reference the document below. It's really weird. But what we're going to do is basically from the waterline up, it's going to be similar to my Chimera class battleship, which is based off of Chimera class aircraft carrier, which is based off of the Iowa class battleship interior from the waterline below. And then from that, we'll figure out how we're going to do it from there, because I'm still kind of working on the plans in my head. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting some of these guns removed, and I'll get back to you. So, got some of that work started. That was the important part. But more or less, we can't keep working on the same projects all day, all the time until it's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back over to the barge here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started to finish it up, because we need food as soon as possible, and this barge is going to be our only way to actually get it done. So right now is going to be the fitting out section of this. This is the hardest part of any build. This is kind of where you get stagnant trying to figure out what you're going to do on the inside. So we need air, water, and power. So we're going to have to figure all those out. Okay, so I think I have an idea. We're going to go ahead, first things first, we're going to put some access to this bottom area. We're going to have this be our power generation, so our engine room. It's going to be here. And I'll probably end up moving it more than once, so I'm going to just try and see if I can figure out where we're going to put the engine. Ideally, you want to maximize the amount of room you have in case you want to change the design without a dry dock. So we'll probably put it on this back wall to start before I get upset and change my mind. We're definitely going to move these air vents, but we're going to have to first put in our access to this below deck area. So we'll put power generation on one side, and then we'll put power storage on the other. So we'll put the load center on this side, and then we'll grab some plates here. Ow. Eventually I will learn. Go ahead and fill these blocks in. One of the things I like about building a survival is you'll never, ever, well, no, not ever, you'll have plenty of time to think while you're building it, and then you'll be like, oh, this idea is not going to work, so let's do it this way. Actually, right now. Perfect. Okay, so I had an idea for the air system. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove these blocks. We're gonna put the intake, we're gonna put the air vent right here for intake. We're gonna put that right. So this will be our in, and this will be our out, and then we'll cover that bottom one with a panel so that you don't see it. But we'll do this, and this will give us the most room on the inside without having to worry about things being connected. Put that there, and then we'll do the same on the other side, just like that. Yeah, I like that better. Alright, I'm going to cut away and we're going to do some time-lapse-y. Fitting out a ship is the hardest part of any build. It's just the amount of materials and the amount of stuff that you need to finish the ship. The most important thing to remember is that your ship is not going to be perfect. It's just how it is. So don't try to aim for perfection. Just get it working. The most that you can do is getting it to the point where you can get it in the water. Find out what's wrong with it so that you can fix it for the next time. Don't stall out. I stall out all the time. And I've been doing this for a while. Years and years of doing this, and I still struggle to finish builds. So it's important to just keep going. Don't let anything stop you from achieving what you need to achieve. Hope you all have been enjoying this. You guys have any comments, concerns, questions? Leave them down below. Hopefully we'll get this barge finished here and put in the water here soon. Looking forward to hearing from every one of you. Thank you for tuning into Modern Engineers.